Hey guys, I'm here to tell you stop being fearful about looking at your credit report. I can't tell you how many times I talk to a lot of people, and it's an exciting time for them to start the process of buying a house, but they're so fearful. I mean, you get so many different personalities from people who are super anxious, sweaty palms, some people who are so completely discouraged because maybe they've been denied before. And I want to tell you guys and encourage you that don't avoid looking at your credit report, especially if it's for buying a house as well. Every situation can be fixed, and I think a lot of that fear kind of stems from us not knowing exactly what it is we need to do to get our credit situation right. And today, what I want to do is I want to give you an example. I'm actually going to show you what it is that I do specifically to help people. But listen, a lot of the times we're fearful because we've been denied, we've been rejected, and we simply just don't know what to do to help our credit so that we get in a situation where we can buy a house. And then in addition to that, finding somebody that you can trust, I mean, that's a whole another level of things too, right? So before we get started, one of the things you got to be thinking about is, what are your goals, right? When we're working with somebody to help them get their credit into a position, you need to figure out exactly what is the goal, right? Obviously, it's about buying a house, but how do you obtain that house? Through getting a mortgage. Okay, so what kind of mortgage are you going to get? Do you need down payment assistance? Do you not? Right? And so we got to factor in different things like that because we got to think about not just so much what credit scores do we need to have, right? And we got to keep in mind it's not just TransUnion and Equifax, but then you have Experian as well. And so the first thing you have to understand is mortgage companies are going to use the middle score, right? And then in addition to that, we have to go into the credit report and figure out exactly if there's anything in your report that might hinder you from proceeding. All right. I can tell you for now that I've seen people with 620s, 640s, 680s of scores and still get rejected because of some stuff that's in their report. Now, again, that's not to discourage you, but it's just about obtaining the knowledge, right? And understanding uh, what your report looks like and what it is that needs to be fixed. Okay? It doesn't make a difference if it's fixed in immediately, in which in some cases we do, or if it takes you a year, right? Either or, you got to get started and you got to work on getting to where you need to be and you got to stay encouraged. Okay? So let's get into it real quick. I'm going to share my screen with you guys real fast and we're going to get into it. All right. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you from directly from our software, our credit simulator. Now, this person, I've already in advance pulled their credit. They pulled out a 611, 613, and 555 of credit scores. Their middle score being a 611. Okay. Now, when we go into their credit report, I'm not going to get into it too much just because there's some personal information there that I prefer not to share. But when you go in there, you're going to see that we got some work to do, right? We want to get the score a little bit higher according to what the goals are going to be. At the very minimum, a 620 to achieve excellence. We definitely want to be around a 640 because that'll open up that person for a variety of options when it comes to mortgages and down payment assistance. So one of the things that we do is we pull the credit and we look at the simulator. Now, the simulator is a tool that we use to help people to create an action plan, right? And determine exactly what needs to be done specifically, right, to help them get their credit scores up. And also, it's going to give them the time frame of how long everything's going to take to get those scores to where they need to be. Now, this is an awesome thing because it gives people a lot of peace of mind, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to go into the Experian profile, all right? And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in here. I'm going to reset everything because I've already started helping this person. I'm going to start over. So the one thing that I want you to pay attention to is this is an Experian 611 credit score. This is what it's forecasted to be. The cool thing here is the time frame. You can actually figure out exactly what the time frame is of how long everything's going to take. All right. So as you notice, you got immediate, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So what this does is that this allows people to really plan ahead and plan their life according to when they're going to meet their goals, right? And so if you notice that this person, they have some stuff on here, they have some collections and a couple of accounts. Um, they have a closed account, they got a couple of accounts in dispute. And now you got to keep in mind here that we're going to look at the scores and I'm going to show you the system and how we help people. But I also have to take in consideration some of the mortgage guidelines when it comes to positioning this person to get pre-approved. Okay, so I automatically know, I'm going to show you this. I already know more or less what to do with this person. But if you notice, this person has a charged off account on this particular credit union. If I put it to 0, let's see what happens. Okay, so with this particular account, if you notice, immediately, because of the time frame, that person's scores jumped up to 636. And ideally, I mentioned to you earlier that we only need a 620. So we can continue working on getting this credit score higher. And this person's going to be happy because little did they realize that all they need to do is take care of one specific account just to get their credit scores to where it needs to be. Okay, so in addition to that, when you're deciding what to pay off, this simulation that we provide for our clients is we're able to tell them what to do with their money and tell exactly which account to pay off that's actually going to help them. Okay, there are some circumstances when you use money and you pay off, let's say, a collection, it can actually hurt your scores temporarily. Okay, so this allows us to be very accurate in the advice that we're giving our clients. So let's keep continue here. Okay, now out of these are a couple of installment loans, student loan, auto loan. I know out of experience those are not the main accounts to hit. Obviously, we hit this closed account. They have another credit card here that's closed. That's 150. I'm sorry, it's charged off. So let's see what happens if I pay this to 0. The score stays the same. So this is a perfect example. Let's remove a few of these here. So this is a perfect example that if we told this person and we were just guessing, hey, go ahead and pay off that Merrick Bank, let's see what happens to the score. Nothing. It stays the same. So we're telling this person spend $1,074 in just blindly telling them to pay that off, and it doesn't do anything for them. So we definitely don't want to give that kind of advice, right? If I was able to tell a person, hey, just instead of spending $1,000 at this Merrick Bank account, why don't you just spend $758 with this Manatee Community account, and your scores are going to jump immediately. All right. So in addition to that, we're going to go into it further, and we're only going to pick the accounts that's necessary to pay off. At this point, I got this person to where I need them to be. I can also put this thing out to 1 month and see what happens to the scores. Okay, didn't change. Let's see what happens in 2 months. All right, now we're talking. It's going up a little bit. Let's see what happens in 3 months. Nothing. So now let's just skip up to 6 months. At this point, immediately we can almost get to where we need them to be. So we're getting close to where we have to be, and this person can plan their life according to the action plan that we're providing them. Okay. Now you'll see there's some collections here. I can pay these off and see what happens. That doesn't do anything for them. That doesn't do anything for them. Okay. So what I'll do is I'm going to reset these. All right, so one of the other things that we can also do is I can actually simulate what happens when a collection gets removed. So let's say this medical account that's currently in dispute gets deleted. Nothing happens, right? Nothing happens immediately. Can something happen in 1 month? Nope. 2 months? All right, so it goes up a little bit. But again, this is not a result of the collection. So I'm able to tell this person not to worry about paying these collections off, at least this specific account. But you get the drift here. We can simulate pretty much every single action, and we can tell a person what's going to happen. There's also mortgage guidelines against disputes. When something is dispute, it tends to mess around with the algorithm of the credit scoring with the mortgage companies, and there's some ruling behind that where we have to be extra cautious and be able to play around with that when it's necessary as well. Okay. Now let me show you one last thing here with this specific person that I know by experience might help them. If I tell this person to go get a starting credit card, they'll get that credit card in 1 month, and we can see what it does to their scores. All right, now if you notice here, they're going from 611 to 660 simply by adding a credit card to their profile. Now, this is for this person's specific situation. It doesn't necessarily mean that you should go apply for a credit card and it's going to help you, because it may not. It actually can even hurt you. Okay. What I like to explain to people is that credit reports are almost like our own DNA. Everybody's situation is going to be different. Okay. These credit reports, they're almost like x-rays to us, almost like an x-ray is to a doctor. All right. So the second thing I could tell this person that might be of a benefit and can actually happen, can actually appear on their credit report a lot quicker, is I can simply ask this person if they have anybody that that they trust, that will trust them, that allows them to add themselves onto a credit card as an authorized user. And let's say this person has had their card since January 2011. Let's say they have a $2,000 credit limit and a $100 balance. At this situation, we want to make sure that the authorized user has had an excellent payment history, because you don't want derogatory bad stuff from that person to be added into your algorithm. All right, so now they're at 655, so it accomplishes the same thing without that person having to apply for a credit card. And all they have to do is ask a family member or friend, someone who understands them and there's a level of trust, to add them onto their friend or family's account as an authorized user. They don't need a credit card. They just need to be added on there. And then in a matter of 2 to 4 weeks, that account will appear on their report, and that score is going to jump. All right. So I think you catch the idea here of the ability to simulate stuff and the power that we have with that. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to give you guys some advice here, that there is hope for you. It is a matter of finding the right people that you can trust. Please understand that not all mortgage companies have the ability to run credit simulations. And then in addition to that, sometimes that specific personality or person, or maybe it's the process that mortgage company has to send it out to another third party in order to do some of the credit repair stuff. Okay. So this is part of our free credit enhancement program. It's something that we provide to our clients who want to participate in getting their credit scores higher and positioning themselves to be able to get pre-approved for a mortgage and then utilize our team to help them buy a house. All right. So stay encouraged. If you're fearful, look it straight in the eye and then tell it to go away and start moving closer to your dreams. I'll talk to you soon. I hope you enjoyed the video.